Hi guys, so remember some months ago Boris Johnson promised to replace EU funding with cash from Westminster? Well, recently it turned out to be a lie, as I've covered in a video some weeks ago. However, since the budget, the amount available seems even less. Remember, Wales alone, for example, received £680 million a year from the European Union for a number of different projects. It also received £4 billion from the years 2020 to 2019. However, that is ending. It hasn't disappeared completely following Brexit due to the life of some of this funding which goes beyond the year 2020. The Tories promised to replace the lost EU funding, but they clearly demonstrated that they had no intention of doing so. Following the release of the budget on Wednesday, it looks like another £2 billion will be cut from spending on deprived areas. This isn't just a slap in the face to those who used to receive EU funding, but it also runs contrary to the PM's promise to level up the country. In order to match the EU funding, £4.5 billion would be required. Brexiteers told the public back in 2016, and after that, it would be matched. No areas that received EU funding before would lose out. A lie or a broken promise? The Chancellor has revealed £2.6 billion, not £4.5 billion, will be made available to levelling up and job prospects. Back in 2019, the Tory manifesto contained the pledge that lost EU funding would be, and I quote, matched at a minimum. What is ironic, of course, is that many of the areas that received the most EU funding voted both for Brexit in 2016 and Johnson and the Tories in 2019. It will be interesting to see if the Labour Party use some of these broken promises against the Conservative Party in the so-called Red Wall constituencies. The Welsh Finance Minister criticised this part of the budget, saying that there were, and I quote, clear gaps in funding where the UK government should be investing in Wales. She also said, arrangements for replacing EU structural funds remain unclear, but what we do know is that it falls well short of the £375 million we were receiving. These are funds that support skills, businesses and decarbonisation. While some money will arrive into deprived areas, the big difference this time is that the Tory party will decide how and where it is spent. One of the benefits, as I've talked about before, of the EU is that money sent to poorer areas is spent on things to help the community. Money from Westminster will no doubt be used to shore up support for existing Tories in their constituency, or to help those who may be seeking to replace an opposition MP or council. Another problem with all of this is that the current promises of cash have been extremely slow in their rollout. The UK Shared Prosperity Fund, which I've covered before in another video, isn't going to happen this year, but the communities waiting for the cash will see the money in 2022. The delay is currently costing these areas an approximate £1.5 billion. Other grants to help attract new investment and build the local economy in deprived areas have also seen delays until next spring, no doubt creating their own problems. The Chancellor's speech was full of rhetoric and little on detail. He promised that he would be, and I quote, levelling up communities, restoring the pride people feel in places they call home. For too long, far too long, the location of your birth has determined much of your future. Economists have warned that the government is ignoring where need is greatest when it comes to the allocation of the limited funds they themselves have made available. But this is, as I've said before, about helping the Tories before helping the public. The Independent newspaper recently reported on how 7 cabinet ministers are expected to see cash from the UK Prosperity Fund even though their areas are not currently deemed deprived. This is the type of corruption that was sneered at by the Tories when it happened in southern European countries. Rishi Sunak's own constituency is currently listed as a priority place, so we can expect to see it get a cash boost, just in time for the next general election. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.